So this is the nesivos sholom part of it in vayeshev. He talks about hitting bottom and rising and growing from there. So he says, "Hu amatzav aneirav ha'ayam shahaya az shalei nishra pina achas shleima b'klal Yisrael v'kol beis Yisrael ha'kol kach shavar." I think he's talking about over here by just what was going on by the house of Yaakov itself. Right? Yosef was sold, Yehuda fell down. I don't know what else, but basically it was a time of Er died, Einan died, who else died? People are dying left and right. Anyway, he says, so from this point of loss and lacking, things being so bad, is where the light of Mashiach could come. The chavrusa, the little tiny spark of life, from which point started he has shivering leiv shayelahem. What created the sprouting, the growth back to start rising was the broken heart that they had. As we see in the pasuk we learned together, leiv nishbar v'nidke, a broken heart and a humbled heart, I guess. Hashem leitivze, Hashem will not put to shame. Shezehu hayesod l'tzmicha mechudeshes, because that's the foundation for a new growth. I don't know where that pasuk is. Hashem knew how broken they were inside of themselves. The depth of the thought process that the brothers had. And also what happened to Yehuda afterwards. They were all broken at that time. Yehuda, they lost Yehuda. A lot was going on then. And that's literally where the spark of light in Mashiach. We find that that's literally where it all started from. Mashiach was born. We also find this after the Egel. Hashem thanked him for breaking the luchos, right? And from there was also, then they built, I guess, the base of Mikdash. And Mashiach, he says, comes after that. So let's just skip a little bit. Well, he says, then also interesting, because it's on a parasha, B'nai Yisrael hayasukim b'sakim v'tanisam, right? Yesh Adam, there are people, shekashahu yoyred b'madrigaisa, when he falls, hareyu neifel b'yush, he gives up, Rachman al-Tzlan, u'mashlim imzeh, and he makes peace with it, he comes to terms with it. Ve'ena asik leis alos b'teira, now he stops growing in Torah, b'chazara, I'm sorry, not b'teira, halos b'chazara, to get up and go up again. Aval, but Yaakov's children, Yisrael's children, were busy not doing that. They didn't come to terms with where they reached, the low point they reached. They worked on growing again. Yosef didn't come to terms with the fact that he became a slave. Yaakov Yosef he didn't come to terms that they lost Yosef. Like it says, he refused to be consoled. Because being consoled, it's closure. It's making peace with the situation. Because tshuva means that I'm not at peace with just accepting that that's it, I fell. But rather, I want to return. I want to go back. And that was Kusta de Chiusa Shemimeno Nivra Irish Mashiach. That's where Mashiach comes from. Mizui Derechat Tzadikim. And that's the way of Tzadikim. That they don't just give in and give up. V'chimatzin Begalas Mitzrayim. That they were Memte Shari Tuma, but they had Emunah and they were redeemed. It means they didn't come to terms with it. They had Emunah, they'll be redeemed. And that's what the Geula started from. So it's the same concept. Okay. Now, it says Ki nafalti kamti ki esha b'cheshach Hashem early. And that's generally, now he leaves the parasha and he goes, Zeu b'chlalos b'chaya Am Yisrael. This is the general rule and concept of Klal Yisrael altogether. Am Yisrael kvar nimtza b'golos karev la'al payim shana. We're already in Golos for close to 2,000 years. V'kol koyach kriyum b'golos. What's kept us going in Golos? That's what it. Iraq ihashlama. It's not accepting it, not coming to terms. Yehudim eina mashlimim b'golos. A Jew does not come to terms and accept Golos. Ve'eina masichim daita mehageula, and they don't lose sight or about Geula. I guess that's a little bit what Zionist did do. It said, that's it, we're okay, we have what we, okay. Shetikvasam itana be'emuna be'bias HaMashiach u'mechakim lai. They're hoping, I don't know what Eisana, be'emuna be'bias HaMashiach, tikvasam Eisana, usually strength. Be'emuna be'bias HaMashiach u'mechakim lai, they await him. B'chal yam sheyavai. Okay, good. That's what keeps us going in the most difficult situations in Golos, right? The famous, even the idea that the Anima V'Vias Mashiach was composed on the train to the gas chambers, to Auschwitz. And then that's the spark that keeps us going to bring forth the light of Mashiach. Because that's Atchal to the Geula. And similarly, he says on a personal level. First there was the historical level, then there was a national level, or you want to call it that. And then there was an individual level. If a person falls entirely, as long as you don't come to terms with it and accept it, that's what helps give you strength to return to your real place. Amar Moran Haran Milechovich, Aleinu, the Rav HaKadosh Rabbi Chepler Zatzal, Yehudi, and a Jew, Kashehu Neifel Mimedragasai, when he falls from his level, Harehu Mechuyev, he's obligated Lahamin to believe Kekadosh Baruch Hu Yachzir Oisei Lamamadai. Hashem will return him to his standing. Mamin, Kekadosh Baruch Hu Machzir Lamamadai, like it says somewhere. And if he believes, Hashem will return him. It says, Hakol b'dei shamayim chutz miyira shamayim. I saw this in a different nesivos sholom, that he says, Hakol b'dei shamayim chutz miyira shamayim, that if a yid asks for anything, for parnasa, for health, so Hakol b'dei shamayim, and it's up to shamayim whether or not to give him his request. Chutz miyira shamayim. If a yid asks for yira shamayim, then how can they deny that? How can they not accept that? Similarly, it just says here, if you believe Hashem will bring you back, then Hashem follows your belief. V'siyim b'lashon hakodesh, no. B'tza'aka gimel pa'amim. Okay. Gimel pa'amim. Aber az gleibt. Oh, but if he believes, aber az gleibt, but if he believes, aber as gleibt, I guess you would say you gotta believe. V'zeu seid ha'geula shel ha'klal v'haprat, and this is the secret to redemption for the klal and the prat. Now, I would stop here, but v'zeu gam inyan shnei hamoedim mitakonas chazal Chanukah uPurim. That's also the Indian of Chanukah and Purim. Chanukah we have. Shehem al Shem Shnei Hanisim and Gedalim Sha'asa Kadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Hashem did the miracles with Tiknum Chazal Dairis Lahoiris It was put in place to light up the darkness of Gullus. Because these two Nisim came from the Jewish lack of resolve, of settling and accepting their predicament. The Chanukah Hayiklal Yisrael b'matzav shel yish gamor shahayu nisunim b'dei mamlacha koi adira. They were in the empire, adira, powerful. Connected his yatsu kaimetz koi katan shalechim leilachim. And against them there was only a small little army of fighters to stand up to them. And it wasn't a suicide mission. Why? Because they had the betachin and emunah in Hashem, that it was impossible that He won't give them victory. Because they didn't succumb and give in and make peace with their low position. That's why Hashem did make the miracle. Mashiach and all the light of Mashiach Taloi is dependent from us, not settling, not giving in. The clarity of emunah that Klal Yisrael has about the coming of Mashiach. He hakusta dechiusa, that's the spark of life. That's miach ayvei shel Mashiach. To light of Mashiach.